Hello there, this is Maurine Kwende, your podcast host, and you are listening to the Empowerment Minutes podcast. If you're here for the first time, this is a podcast to empower you with nuggets on learning and development, training, leadership coaching, management, entrepreneurship, and personal growth. I am a learning leader, researcher, speaker, coach, consultant, and author. I'm the CEO and founder of EMK Learning Solutions. And I am also a mom, passionate about making a difference in our community. And so talking about community, in our learning and development community, I have the honor to coach and inspire aspiring emerging leaders to become better leaders. So if you need help in this area, I invite you to join my Dream Big and Boldly Academy, which is a community of those who are passionate about their personal and professional growth. So please join us on Facebook. You can send me an email. I would send you more information. I cannot wait to help you too. So thank you so much for tuning in every week on this episode, checking on every new episode. So today I'm going to be focusing on delegating work as a leader or manager. You know, many leaders, first-time managers, struggle with delegating work. First, what is delegation? Delegation is the act of redirecting tasks and initiatives to other team members. As a manager or leader, why do you delegate? What are some of the reasons for delegating work? One reason may be to distribute responsibility more evenly across the team. There has been situations where some people take on more tasks than others. So delegating work ensures that work is distributed fairly and equally. Another reason is because the work has a higher priority for some than others. So it makes sense that the work is in their wheelhouse. Another reason for delegating is because of their strengths, right? I share this all the time for people to focus on their strengths. You know, what are we good at? So delegating work is going to be useful for those who have strengths in those areas. Those who have the skills or interests can be delegated the work. So now that we know what delegation is and why delegating work, as a leader manager, delegating or delegation can benefit you and your team in many ways. It allows for effectiveness in the team. It also makes the team more productive and minimizes conflict, stress, burnout. You know, just one person doing the work, you can imagine how stressful that can be. It also minimizes underperformance, right? And so when someone is working on tasks that is more than their workload, they will perform below their performance, and oftentimes, if not handled properly, it can even lead to quiet quitting. We know quiet quitting is a hot topic nowadays, and as leaders we should be intentional about that. So by delegating the work, the team learns new skills as well, and they gain confidence in that area. And when they do the work, you as the manager, the leader, have confidence in their abilities that they can do the work, and so you can trust them to handle it in the future. So it's a win-win for everybody. So what happens when we do not delegate work? Well, so many things. It leads to burnout, stress, quiet quitting that I just talked about, team imbalance, and so many other reasons, right? And so sometimes leaders don't even want to delegate work because they believe that, they're the only ones who can do it. How about giving it to someone who that's that strength area that you can empower them to even do it better? Can you let them do it? So now that we know about delegating work, what it means, advantages, the disadvantages, how then do we delegate work? I'm going to share some 5 key strategies here. First of all, you want to identify the work that needs to be delegated, right? You got to be able to determine what is the work that has to be delegated. Then the next thing is to determine who is going to delegate the work to. Right? Do they have the skills or interests? Is it high on their priority list? Do they have the strengths to do this work? Many leaders would, as I mentioned, would tend to do the work than delegate. If the work has to be done by someone else in the team, let them do it. Be sure that it aligns with their strengths, right? Their goals, their skills, their capabilities, right? I always encourage you as a leader to know what are the goals of your team, what are their individual goals, how it aligns. with what you guys have in the workplace, right? So make sure it aligns with your strengths, your goals, if possible, their values as well as organizational values, right? So I've given two tips here. The third one is to be clear on what needs to be done. This is so important. You got to know what the deadline is, what's the expected outcome, and what it takes, right? I always encourage leaders, managers to create a checklist. On that checklist, be sure to check, all of the following items, for example, before you hand off the work. Did you give them the guidance on how the work needs to get done? Did you tell them the due date for the task you're delegating to them? Did you provide the context that they need? Do you provide the documents, the resources? Are you providing detail enough about the work? Right? On the checklist, can you check the box that says tools needed to get the work done? Do you give them all the tools that they need? Do they need access to specific technology and all of that information? Are you able to establish priorities, goals, and be clear about the expectation of the work? Right. Be able to check the box also on the desired outcome. Right. And then be intentional about if they're doing another work, right? So that can be a conflict on the deadlines. And so maybe that might be delayed. The work that they were working on before might be delayed, or it might even be reassigned to someone else. Those are some things that you want to put on the checklist. You can share the checklist with your team member, the employee, and say, okay, do you agree? We're checking the box on all these things. Are you clear on all these things? Am I providing you the support that you need so that you can be able to do this work? Right. So the fourth tip is to have an open door policy. You're giving them work. That doesn't mean that that's it. They cannot come back to you if they have any questions or concerns. Make sure that you tell them they can always come back, so you can give them some guidance. Not that, okay, this is it, and I just want to see results. Then the last thing is, do not micromanage. Supervise them, give them the guidance, but not be on their neck like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Those are some of the things that I just cannot stand when it comes to leaders. It just doesn't work. You're supposed to empower people to be the best version of themselves. You might need to coach them so they can gain clarity, but do not micromanage. Once you give the work to them, trust them enough to let them to do it. Okay? And perhaps then the bonus tip I want to share right here is, when you give them the work, trust them to do the work, just believe that they can do it. Stop, telling yourself things in your mind, in your head, and say, oh, my team's not good enough. You got to believe in your team. That's why you're leading them. Trust them. Believe them. Believe that they can do it. Be their support so that you can help them to trust them to do the work. Many emerging or new managers find it hard to delegate work. Even people who have experience still find it hard to delegate work. So I want to tell you that you might find it hard to do it too. It takes practice. Just be patient and be kind with yourself. Okay, I'll end the podcast with this quote by Martin Zwillig. It says, team members need to feel trusted and valued, and micromanaging communicates the opposite. Founders who are prone to manage every detail of their business will ultimately kill themselves as well as lose the support of their team members. Learn to delegate key tasks and give credit. End of quote. As a leader, I challenge you to go beyond the golden rule. Don't just manage people the way you want to be managed. I challenge you to lead people the way they expect to be led. Apply the platinum rule. That's it for this week's podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found the episode useful. Share with your friends, like and comment. I look forward to see you same time, same day next week. God bless. Bye-bye.